guys, thanks for visiting my movie vlog. My name's John Campia, and this is my quick review of the brand new John Krasinski horror film, A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place kind of takes place in this post-apocalyptic world where these evil, hideous monsters roam around and they hunt by sound. Now, in particular, we follow this one survivor family. I believe their last names are the Abbotts, led by John Krasinski as the husband and dad, and his real-life wife, actress Emily Blunt, and their kids. And basically, they have survived by learning how to live completely silently. Because one of the things the movie reveals to you as the audience member pretty much right away is that these monsters hunt by sound. And if they don't really hear you and you don't make much noise, you're kind of safe. But living in silence is not as easy as it sounds. All right, right off the top, this movie is awesome. I heard great things about this movie going into it, but I've often had a lot of movies I hear great things about, then I go see it, doesn't quite live up to my expectations. This movie exceeded all my expectations. It's tense. It's got incredible tension running through it. The scares are real. The monsters are nightmare-inducing. The performances are incredible. The emotional ties between the characters is palatable. Like, you can feel it. This movie knocks it out of the park on just about every swing it takes. And can we just talk about John Krasinski here as a director? Now, he directed this little film in 2016 called The Haulers, which I thought was pretty cute, but I had no idea he had a film like this inside him. The directing of this film is everything. Think about it. How do you direct a movie where there's almost no dialogue? There is very, very, very little dialogue in this film. Like, how do you tell a compelling story that has great pace, moves along, has real emotion, great family connection, great chemistry between characters without hardly any dialogue at all? And yet, you never even think about it watching this movie. Krasinski directs it in such a way that it has that pace, and he sets up his shots and his scenes in such a way that you feel the emotion between the characters. You feel the bond and the chemistry between this family and the horror when these monsters show up. And now let's talk about the performances. How do you give a great performance with hardly any dialogue? I don't know, but Emily Blunt and John Krasinski both give some of the best performances. Granted, it's a very young 2018, but some of the best performances I've seen all year. They act with their faces and their body and their movements, and yes, with their dialogue a little bit here and there, but you buy into the tension. It's their performances that get you hooked and drawn into this world. It's the performances that make you feel like you're actually there in that house, in that field with them, living surrounded by these monsters. It's just insane, the performances. And also, the kids who play their children, off the chart. Completely off the chart. The one performance in particular that really impressed me was the girl who plays their daughter. In the movie, the daughter is deaf, and they actually got a deaf actress to play her, and she's incredible in it, and so's the little boy. It's just, everybody's amazing in this movie. And you'd think that being a kind of lower budget, indie style little horror film, that the CGI monsters wouldn't look all that great. Well, don't worry about that. They actually got Industrial Light and Magic to do the monster effects, and the monsters look awesome. And it's not just one of these horror movies that relies on jump scares to get you. Don't get me wrong, there's a couple of brilliantly placed jump scares to get you going, but it's the atmosphere. It's almost like I'm watching like an Asian horror film. You know, Asian horror films just have this great way of understanding that atmosphere and tone become a part of the movie itself, and they do a great job of that. It's the atmosphere that really gets you so that when these jump scares come, they make you jump 15 feet high. Incredible directing, great story, magnificent performances, incredibly terrifying, intense. You feel the connection, the chemistry. This movie is a winner on every level. Look, really too early to say this. I'm not going to be shocked at all if we get around to Oscar season near the end of the year and people start talking about A Quiet Place getting some Oscar buzz. It is this year's version of Get Out. I actually think I prefer this movie over Get Out. I mean, they're two great films, so whatever, but this movie is great. Make sure you go and check it out. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for my little review of A Quiet Place. The question is, what did you think of A Quiet Place? Have you had a chance to see it yet? If so, leave your thoughts below. If you haven't seen it yet, what have been your expectations? Let me know about them. That'll do it for me for now, guys. Thanks a lot for joining me. My name's John Campia, and until my next video, bye-bye.